Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Try It Out Tuesday. I hope you're well. Tonight we're going to be doing some art journaling using the transparency prints. We haven't done these in a live for a while, and I thought they would be a nice thing just to have a little use of. So we're going to wait for a few more people to join in, of course, and then we will get started. We're also going to be using the Inkables Big Ones. So if there's any of those that you've been looking at and you'd like to see them inked through, painted through, anything like that, then do let me know, because now would be a great time for me to show you, because they're all out. Okay. Hello, Alison. How are you, my darling? Are you well? And that's what we want. You Try It Out Tuesdays are so you can have a look at the products you want to have a look at. You can really sort of see them in action. Hello, Shazam. So if there, like I say, if there is anything you're thinking, oh, I wonder why she hasn't shown that recently or whatever. Hello, Lynn. You need to tell me what it is. And obviously now's a very good time to tell me because I haven't started yet. So I'm watching the old comments quite accurately, intently. I'm watching them. Okay, so that's what we're gonna have a go with this evening. So I'm just having a look at some Dilutions paint here. Hello, Pauline. Hello to anyone else I may have missed. Okay. So Sam's put a link on for the Inkables Big Ones already. So if you are looking at any, there is a multi-buy discount on those as well. So if the Inkables Big Ones are something you like the look of, there is like I say, there is a multi-buy on those. So, you know, you can add a few to your collection. Okay, what do we need to tell you? Right, Shazza, someone wasn't listening. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see, I've got all my Inkables Big Ones out. So if there's anything particular you'd like to see it blended through or whatever, then tell me. Because if you don't tell me, then I don't know. And if I don't know, then I can't do it. Basically is the point. Okay? Try It Out Tuesday isn't just about getting projects completed, although that is nice when that happens. But it is about seeing the product, seeing things happen. So if there's any, like I said, Inkables Big Ones, any stamps or anything where you think, I haven't seen that and I like the look of it, but I'd like to see more of it, let me know. Hello, Kim. Hello, Caroline. Right. Okay. So, right, so I've got a stack. Did you ask for one? I don't think I've got the trees. I should have the trees. That's it. You want me to use the trees big one? Do you mean that one or like the flower palm? Those were not at all what I was planning to use this evening. You see, so asking works. I have to say, I think my favourite one is that one for inking through, but I really love the Bakewell, as we all know. For those of you that don't know, that say you're new to Bee Crafty, something like that, my actual favourite, the first one, is Bakewell. Called as such because it looks like the pattern on the top of a Bakewell tart. But I actually have two of these. I have one that I use texture paste through. I'm obviously not very good at cleaning, and that's why it has to be sacrificed. And then a clean one that is for inks. So I'm not allowed to put texture paste through the other one, and I keep it separately so that I'm not tempted. What can I say? I sometimes just get... Right, that one. Okay, so now I'm going to have to totally adjust my plan for the evening because Shazza has thrown it into thing. But that's what I said to do. I'm not complaining. All right, so transparency prints. And we first launched transparency prints, I want to say a couple of years ago now. It all goes by so fast. I can't remember. And I used one of the small faces on my Bee Crafty deck this week. There is a reel for that both on Instagram and Facebook, and it will be going on TikTok and the YouTube shorts, so you can catch up with that. All right. Because they're obviously a really good size to use on these, and you just get that really nice sheen, which is quite fabulous. But if you wanted to use one of these without the sheen, you can go over it with matte medium, sheen away. See, it could be called sheen away because it's matte medium, but it's quite good. So This is obviously the look stamp. So if you like the look stamp, we don't do anything in the size of the stamp, okay? It's either bigger or smaller. So if you want it in the size of the stamp, you'll have to stamp it yourself on your transparencies, okay? But in the transparencies, we do have a big one of it. So your stamp is sort of like midway between the two. But obviously, the good thing about stamping on a transparency or using your transparency prints is it's very quickly, easily rotated, but you can do that using stamping tissue too. Now, it was whilst looking through, while deciding which journal to use this evening, I was looking through this one, and I have already used Look here. And there is a live for that, which is already on YouTube. Okay, and then I was having a little look through, and I've also done one with Dream. Okay, so those transparency prints have already existed in a live. So tonight I thought we would use another one. Ooh, do you remember the page I didn't do and I abandoned and made ATCs instead? I did little birds for it, look. With the rainbow birds. Didn't that turn out absolutely blooming magnificent? See, you can't just, sometimes you can't force it. And I was colouring these birds totally independently. I was just stamping on them and having a bit of a mess. And then I had an apostrophe that they would fit perfectly on here. Abigail, did you just laugh at me? I'm sure she did. Of course I meant an epiphany. But anybody familiar with Hook will understand that one. So I did, I had an apostrophe. So I was thinking this evening, if we want to use one that we haven't used before, we've got like a big I See You, and again these are all available in stamps in a smaller size. So I think the I See You would look quite good with the old trees. See, because I was planning to do this one with lots of other stuff around. But I'm thinking, so sorry, the big faces, sorry I saw someone ask the size, are A5, okay, so they're quite big. But I think maybe if we did the I See You layered up with trees and things round it. Ooh, now then. Right, so we're abandoning paint already because I want to use ink blending for this. Alright. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I am going to add on some collage prints, okay, out of the catalyst papers, etc. But I have given myself the task of not ripping up any new sheets. Okay, so we're going to go to my scrap collage box and we're going to get some waste, some edge bits. What have we got? I'm very disturbed by the neatness of that edge. You know, it's disconcerting, to be honest. I don't want anything too densely coloured, actually, because I want, obviously, this to sort of fade into the background and have. Right, and we're going to get, have I got any book pages in here? Got a little bit. Right, so we're going completely off my plan. So how this goes is going to be as big a surprise to me as it is to you. Okay? And that's always fun for you. Alrighty, so I'm going to put that there because that's the one we're going to use. Put my other transparency prints to the side and put them back in the tub. See, you were impressed with the whole scrap collage tub thing though, weren't you? I mean, that was a level of organisation that you didn't think I was capable of. Did you? I caught you looking. There was a bit here that was like, wow, that's impressive. Didn't know she had it in her. No, I didn't know that either. Right, like I say, that edge is disturbing me a lot, so we're gonna just rip down there a bit. Oh, I broke it. Right, let's start sticking things down, because, you know, there comes a point where you just have to commit. I'm going to put that palette to the side, because we're no longer painting. I'm going to get some collage medium, and we're going to just start. I generally use a wet brush when I'm using collage medium. In all honesty, I think collage medium is really thick and lovely and luxurious, and I think sometimes you just don't need it to be. So if you don't need it to be, thin it out, let it go further. You know, why not? Let's stretch out those consumables. You know, obviously our stamps and everything, that's fine, because, you know, you can't use them up. But if you can make your collage medium stretch out a little bit, why wouldn't you? Stretchy, stretchy. And this is just to add, so I'm going to add some blending. I'm going to just take that right down the middle. And whatever, but it's so that there's a bit of interest already there. It's not... I will blend it for you on a bit of plain so that you can see it. But in terms of for this page, I just wanted some other stuff. Also, I think if you water down your collage medium a little bit, it gives it a little more slide. You can sort of move it around a bit, especially in a Dilutions journal, because it's got such a beautiful smooth surface. You can sort of, even from a lovely sunny Isle of Man. Oh, good for you, Maggie. I think we are almost reaching that stage where we are starting to believe the nicer weather is actually possible. Do you know what I mean? I think for the last few months we're like, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to be nice weather, ever. But I think we're starting to get to the stage where we're like, oh, well, of course it will. It's taken a bit longer, but we'll get there. As you can see, I am just overhanging in more ways than one, but you can't see that. But no, overhanging the media paper, because I'll trim that off once the page is done. Okay, I don't worry about it too much at this stage because there's no need to. Okay, and then I did have a message saying if we'll be doing like a book page media paper / catalyst paper. Some of the catalyst papers do have book page on them, because when I've put them together, because they're all based on papers I've made with like paper and ink, and Sam's made with paper and ink. But in terms of just book page, no. Get a book. I get damaged books from charity shops. So they're unsellable. If you have a local charity shop, honestly, speak to, I'm going to say ladies in there because it tends to be that I've always, but ladies or gents, the volunteers, let's go with that, in there, and they'll usually, if you know, because unfortunately people aren't always careful with what they donate, and sometimes, you know, it is just stuff they're trying to get rid of, and if they know you'll come and pick up some books, there you go. See, look, where I've peeled this earlier, it's separating. You've just got like a really light honeycomb. So when I put that on, it's just going to sort of mesh into the paper. Your head does not need that picture. Rude. Of course it does. I'm a vision. Vision. I'm sure I can hear my daughter laughing at me again. Right, so this would also work as an entry for the old collage challenge, wouldn't it? In the group, which you are running out of time to enter, but I know you are working on it, aren't you? Giving it your absolute attention. Right, so I'm going to get my heat tool and just give it a bit of a waft. Again, if you haven't been here before, generally when I'm doing this, I do prefer to let these dry in their own time. But obviously, when you guys are here with me, you know, this time sensitive. The theme for this week's Bee Crafty deck, week 17, is portrait. So I've used one of the smaller faces on the Bee Crafty Transparency Prints, which is faces number 4, and just laid it over. There is a reel, it's on the Instagram and Facebook page, went on earlier today. If you're looking for some inspiration as to how it went together, it's all there. I'm just going to heat that whilst putting some of that scrap back in the box. As you can see, I'm holding my heat gun quite far up because I am just trying to softly catch you, you know. And the challenge this month is collage, you see, so this would work. Okay, we're getting there. But because we're blending, you see, I want it to be quite dry. May have overdone it in some sections with the matte medium, but you know, it doesn't matter because this is going to go directly in there. Ooh. Right, so while that just finishes off doing its little bit of dry on its own, I'm going to get the trees, Inkables Big One. Is there any other Inkables Big Ones that anyone wanted to see this evening? And I'm just going to show you this because it is really good. I think it's a great background for chopping up. I think it's a great background if you want to sort of ink blend and then doodle maybe inside. I think it's got lots of potential basically. Right, so I'm going to grab some forest moss. I'm going to grab the other green actually, and we'll go with some bundled sage and we'll sort of blend the two. Okay, you can also draw around it and obviously colour in, and I think it would work nicely as a secondary print, so we might do that as well depending on how filthy I get at this stage. Right, so we're just going to blend our forest moss, okay, and I'm going to work this sort of around what I perceive to be the wider sections of, oh hello, of sort of trunks, and not the Speedo kind. I'm going to blend that around there. Okay. And then we're going to take our bundled sage. I just want to pick a lighter one. Because the funny thing about this is the forest moss, it comes from the warmer end of the greens. Okay. If you think about it, it's, you know, if you look at it, it's a very sort of green meets red in a way. It's got that brown red, whereas the bundled sage is on the cooler end, so they're not necessarily the two you would think to bring together, but I sometimes think that makes it even better. They're not the two you would immediately put together. It's like pink and orange at the minute for me. It's a thing, I'm telling you. As the kids say, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. Right, and then when you lift that off, you've got a really beautiful sort of thing. We call this trees, but for me, that could easily be sort of like the really close-up structure of a leaf. Things like that, really beautiful. Now, I've done it in the greens because I just felt like it was the obvious choice. But like we said, we were just saying about pink and orange. That, in a pink and orange, would be an absolutely stunning background. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. Okay, do you know what? I'm going to admit it, I don't use that template enough. In fairness, I'm not sure I've ever used it, like, in a big project. I think I've maybe used it and then chopped it up. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to grab this here. And we're going to see, and this is what Try It Out Tuesday is all about. Would you like me to do a Try It Out Tuesday where I just go through all the big ones and we just ink them all up? I could do that. Okay, I'm just going to grab my brayer. Just to make sure it's had sort of like even pressure. All the way around. Okay. And we lift that off. And this is my favourite part when you reverse the templates, is where you get, and you can get this when you reverse any of your Inkables, it's where you get this sort of outline. It's so cool. It's such a good look. I absolutely love it. Like I say, one of my favouriteest things. You know, it's really cool where it's obviously all solid and you get the negative, but I absolutely love this sort of ghost line. It's so fun. See, I'm easily pleased woman, aren't I? Look at that. So, that is your trees Inkables Big One. So if that isn't part of your collection, I think we can all agree we may have overlooked this absolute gem. Absolute gem of an Inkable. Oh, I love it when you rediscover things. It's just great. It's almost a bit better than finding something new. Like completely new, rediscovering something. Mega. Right. Back to it. So here we go. So I'm going to use these Inkables now, but we're going to swap colours because we're going to work with some of the colours from here. But I am going to add in some more of that green because we do have a lovely green here. But I'm going to move slightly to the bluer end of the forest moss. And we're going to go with a rustic wilderness. Okay. See, Lynn? You see, you've got it. And now you're just thinking, now I've got to use it. And that's also what these Try It Out Tuesdays are about, okay? It's showing you the products you might not have and what they can do, but it's also making sure that you're using the Bee Crafty products you have. So if you have something Bee Crafty and you don't think you've used it or you're not using it, let me know and I will use it and maybe that'll inspire you. Talking about, as the kids say, I told my youngest son that I'd listen to a song where as a Viking was spitting bars, he said I must never say spitting bars again. Oh well. Yes, but this is the thing, isn't it? When these youths say things like, don't ever say that again. Oh, really? Really? You're going to regret saying that, that's for sure. Oh, yes. Right. So, I'm going to put the solid part, because this is wide enough. So, this is an 8x8 book. So, this is wide enough to basically do in two. Okay, so I'm going to put this solid part sort of, well, the centre bit right down the middle so that we've got this large trunk section almost framing what's going to be either side. All right, but I'm going to go for a sort of a fossilised amber, I think, and a rustic wilderness. So let's get that green blending brush. And again, what we're going to do is I'm going to use that darker tone around here. I'm probably not going to go all the way in, except the top and bottom, so I can hold it securely with my hand here, and I'm not planning to get my fingers dirty. But when am I? I don't plan that. It just sort of happens, doesn't it? I'm going to lift that up so you can see that there. So we've got that lovely what I'm going to do, I should really reverse it so it's a mirror. So let's do that. Rude, Samantha, just rude. Okay. If anyone catching up with this later, she's put, sorry, if you're crafting, you're planning dirty hands. That's just rude, isn't it? Okay, so then we're going to go in a fossilised amber around the edges. Okay, so for anyone who was thinking, if you're planning to ink over the top, why put in the collage, the catalyst papers and stuff underneath? Okay, I hope this is giving you an idea as to why. All right, now what I am going to do is I'm just going to lightly go over with my blending brushes, just to, so the only sort of start bits are these two tree trunks going up here. Right, let's see how this is looking, because I won't lie, I haven't left as much space as I thought, so if this doesn't work as I want, I will just swap it for another one. It is giving springtimes in the woods. No, see, that's far too small, so that is not going to do it. Trying to decide, or maybe her. I definitely should have gone further to the sides. Somebody help me. Do we think I see you on the right? Or do we think maybe a bit of whatever works to the left, to the left? That being said, she could go that way as well. Oh, kind of like that way round. So I'm just tilting to get the shine off a bit, so you can see it. Whatever works to the right. Right, I'm going to take my hands off. So say yes if that's the one. Lots, do the thumbs up emojis. Thumbs up emojis, there we go. Sorry, I was just struggling there. I think it's because my circle light's shining on it as well. Shall I turn it off? Let's have a look. Right, I'm going to turn off all my little lights. Ah, yeah, you see. That's proper right good, isn't it? Okay, yeah, so you can actually see both of the... Right. All back on. Right. I have a lot of lights on in here. Oh, hang on a second. Oh no, I was just going to try and grab my teenager, but she's revising. So she's got her earphones in. I have ceased to exist. Right. So I'm going to go with some collage medium in the corners. I won't be able to go right in the corners at the bottom because she's going to stick out over the bottom. And the good thing about this is you've got that manoeuvrability, because wherever the collage medium is, it will dry matte underneath. Not that it matters as much when you're using a transparency, of course, because you have the shine anyway, but you again, you could go over that. All right. Now, what I do want to do is I have my little journaling elements fussy cuts here, and I also have, I was going to say the doodle arts, but I'm not going to use those. And I'm just wondering if, before we go sentiment hunting, if we maybe just add in a few of these, or is that too much? I am willing to take advice on it. The blue one's wrong, we won't use that, but the others are okay. I'll leave too much. Too much. Okay. I see. I'm always. You know me. Oh, sugar. Chiff. I almost said a word then that I've never said before. Right. Do you know what, we're going to put that to the side a sec, because I'm going to keep moving that transparency print, aren't I? Wow, you should see it when it's like not in direct to 4 LED lights. It's really good. So I'm thinking some mixed messages. Mixed messages. Probably not Christmas mixed messages. That being said, I actually do use my Christmas mixed messages a lot, because you've got believe in there, you've got the naughty in there, you've got the love each other. So do you know what I mean? There's stuff in there that's actually quite usable all year round. So mixed messages. Oh, I think the hope would be nice because it's quite big. So we'll take that out. That's a contender. So that's on mixed messages 2. Mixed messages 4, that's got the big happy on there. Mixed messages, where's my mixed messages 1? I'll gotta go looking for that tomorrow. Mixed messages 3. Say that the handwritten words, Sammy's handwritten words are very good. Well recovered, you used to say sugar puffs. My eldest daughter, to be fair, who is 16, so you know, she says cheese and sprinkles. Not all the time, I would hasten to add, but a lot of it. I think the Hey Sunshine would work as well, I think. You know what? We're going to make a decision, at least whittle it down to mixed messages number 4. And in fairness, Sarah Lou is saying she's very impressed with the tidy for my crafting stuff. All my actual stamps and pens and all that sort of stuff are in perfectly labelled boxes, and I generally keep them like that. But somehow this room is still an absolute mess. Like, really bad. Like, I wouldn't even show you bad. Because trust me, you don't want to see it. Oh, hello. I don't want courage. Well, I do want courage. That's a different thing. Hey, Sunshine. And like I say, my current favourite thing is my slim, not my super skinny slim, my slightly chunkier 5mm slim. I don't know, just got a bit of chunkiness to it, and we appreciate that round here. Right, so I'm going to ink that up, ink up the Hey Sunshine, and I'm going to stamp that a little bit in from the edge because we're going to flag the ends. So I'm going to stamp that on there. Lovely. It's sort of like a broken font, which I like because it restricts then the need to, oh, I haven't stamped it perfectly. It's kind of like using doodle art stamps and stuff, because they're sort of a sketchy edge. It doesn't really matter. You can add it in with a pen and no one will know. That's why I kind of like the fonts where there's a little bit missing and stuff. Takes away the pressure of perfection, which obviously I strive for on a daily basis. Perfection sounds like an awful lot of pressure to put on yourself, so don't. Perfection is not necessary. Or required. All that's required is that you're enjoying what you're making. You're getting to use your products. I put a thing on a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it, but it's very valid. None of your craft products are being wasted if they're being used. Okay? They're only being, do you know what I mean? Don't worry that, oh, well, I don't want to use that because what if it goes wrong and therefore it's wasted. If it's being used, it's not being wasted because that's its function, that's its purpose. Okay? They're only wasted if you're not using them. That's Mr. Green, Mr. Chunks, Mr. Dad. Mark, Dave and Billy. Billy's resigned to it now. He just has to... Oh, that's what Sam said. He just says, yes, dear. Well, very soon, not this year, but very soon, Billy and Julie. So Billy is my dad, and he cuts all of our Mylar. So if you've bought an Inkable, you have bought a piece of Bee Crafty MDF, any of the MDF pop-outs, anything like that, Billy has cut them. Okay? And Julie has designed quite a lot of it as well. But yeah, so very soon they will be celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. So, to be honest, if he hadn't resigned himself to her by now, it's a bit too late. Bing. Okay, so there's our sentiment, all ready and lovely. So let's get her back. stunning. Page 3 stunner. Tilt her up a little bit there. They don't look old enough, I know. They actually don't. It's because Sam and I are such fabulous ideal children, you see. We haven't aged them at all. In fairness, saying that, I could be giving away mine and Sam's ages, couldn't I? Didn't think that one through. Yeah, well. You know what they say, age is mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. So, I'm going to go along here again with some matte medium. And I really like that here, so that's where I'm putting it. If you were recreating this page and you think it would look better somewhere else, then I think you should put it somewhere else. Because that was what will make you happy. And I want you to be happy. Alright. So I'm not going to lie, there's probably going to be a little bit of faux stitch added in here when everything's a bit more dry. Maybe a few little white pen highlights here and there. But nothing too severe. Okay? That is basically it. And I'm really, really, really happy with how it turned out. I'm really, really happy Shaz told me to use the Big Ones trees. Because let's face it, that turned out to be a triumph. Okay? Absolutely fantabulous. So good. So good. You're similar ages to my children. My eldest is 42 and youngest is 29. I'll be the one that's 29. But yeah, so, oh yeah, so if I tilt it like that, you can see more how it looks without the glare of the light on. Isn't that fab? Absolutely love it. Very, very cool. Chaz, you are good. In fairness, you might as well have just created it yourself, really. Because that's how good you are. Honestly, I'm really, really chuffed with it. And it's another one of the bigger transparency prints used in this book. So that's fantastic. So it keeps them all together. Okay, so Sam has put links on for all the transparency prints. There's loads on there. If you haven't had a play with transparency prints before, you really should. They're great if you're on a budget because they're only £1.99. Okay, and there is loads. We've got... Hang on, let me just... This isn't all we have, obviously. But this is what I have left. So we have sort of like background things. There's some more background things. There's some words. There's some more little profiles that would be great on your ATCs and Bee Crafty deck. Got some more words, and as you can see, some of them are the black print onto the clear, and some of them is more solid. We call it the white on black, and then more background circles, background things, words. You know, there's loads to choose from. So go on, have a gander. They're a great thing to play with, a great thing to have in your collection. Like I say, there's lots of different size faces. There's faces up to number 4, but also make sure you check out the Galleria, which are the faces with the little frames, because they're really, really good fun. Okay, so go and have a go. Sam has done those links for you. And if there's anything else we can help you with, please get in touch. Also, make sure you've had a go at this week's Bee Crafty deck. If you haven't done any others yet, and you're like, oh, do you know what? I'd love to have a go at the Bee Crafty deck. All you need to do is grab yourself a deck of cards and get started. Now, if you go back through all the reels, I started with the aces in month 1 of the year. Then I've done number 2, number 3, number 4, as in we're in April, so I've done number 4. But you don't have to do that. Sam just grabs a random card. There are prompts for every week. Again, you don't have to follow them. If you just want to sit and craft a load of them, absolutely go for it. The prompts are if you don't know where to start or you would like to do the prompts. Okay, so we've got that. There's also the challenge in the Bee Crafty Stamps group. There's one every month. So make sure you're making things for those. You can make 3, you can enter 3 times. So make sure you do that. If you see any post from Bee Crafty, if you could just interact with it in some way, like it, put a heart on it, comment on it, go, Bev, you're the best, anything, that's fine. Unless it's one of Sam's posts, because that would be weird. If you said Bev's the best on one of Sam's posts. But, you know, we'll take it, because if you interact with it, the algorithm goes, oh, their stuff's good, we must show it to other people. And make sure you're liking the Bee Crafty YouTube channel. Alright then guys, thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. And like I say, if you need help with anything at all, let us know. Bye.